Ball across it, tapped home, and it's the skipper, George Johnson. It's absolutely wonderful from Scott Fraser. Liebert scores in front of the crowd. Takes a shot.
It was a good September for the Addicts, who went unbeaten in League One, including picking up victories here at the Valley. Michael Appleton will be hoping that his side can take that little bit of momentum into a very busy October. We begin October with the visit of fast starters Exeter City. Gary Caldwell's side scored in the first and fourth minute of their opening game of the season. They now sit 8th in League One and beat Premier League outfit Luton Town last month to advance in the Carabao Cup. With less than 30 minutes until kick-off, let's take a look at what we have coming up. We will hear from head coach Michael Appleton, who spoke to CharltonTV ahead of tonight's game. And we will be asking our expert panel for their Charlton Goal of the Month. A warm welcome to everybody joining us. No matter where you're tuned in from, it's an absolute pleasure to have your company. Don't forget, there is still time to purchase your match streaming pass for £10. And because it is a midweek game, if you're joining us in the UK, then you can hang around for the whole game, our half-time analysis and full-time. Perhaps if you're lucky enough to be on holiday or somewhere a little bit further afield, you can also buy your pass as well. I'm delighted to be joined in the studio by a duo who have so much in common, a joint love of the football club and also a mutual disdain for the Blackwall Tunnel. Guys, I'm so pleased to have you here and on time as well. How are you both?
Yeah, I'm good. I mean, this is my second time being here on time after the mishap of the Blackwall Tunnel, so I'm just used to the routine now. So yeah, it's just good to be on time and looking forward to the game.
Curbs, it's great to have you back. How was your holiday?
It was lovely, yeah, really nice.
Enjoyed it?
Yeah. And I was never going to be late today because I was already over here.
Oh, okay.
Via the Dartford Bridge. So, listen, word of warning, if you're doing it again this weekend, the Blackwall Tunnel's closed.
Yeah, see, that's it.
Southbound.
Manager's head on again, Curbs.
Helping keeping us organised and on time, which is exactly what we want, Curbs. And Curbs, I mentioned in the intro there, a really solid September, a decent month, good to go unbeaten. We're looking at that very busy October fixture list and potentially tonight a chance to get 3 victories in a row here, which would be important.
It will be, and building a bit of momentum, which is what you need. And, I think Michael, since he's come in, he's now assessed the squad over the last couple of weeks. It'll be interesting, obviously, the team selection for tonight. But yeah, I mean, we've got to win the games here for a start, and it'd be nice to pick up the 3 points again tonight, because this is where we're going to get most of our points, and we've got to make it very, very difficult for the opposition when they come here. Yeah. So that's what I'm hoping for tonight.
And Kevin, you are a bit of a good luck charm in this studio. In all seriousness, have you seen any tweaks or instant amendments since the new manager's come in that's helped us be perhaps a little bit more gritty, is the word that we seem to be using a lot?
Yeah, I think I'd more focus on the last game here when we played against Wickham. I felt for large parts of the game we had control over the game, and then I felt Wickham were coming back into it. But we showed a different side from what I've seen for the last few years when we got back into it and scored those late goals at the end. So I think I think his substitutions are really key in games now. He seems to have effect every time he makes substitutions. So for me, that's the most important part. And I think the squad's looking bigger and fitter as well. So that will help.
That's such an important point. We've been saying for weeks and for long durations of last season about the importance of having a fully fit squad at his disposal. So on that note, earlier on today, I caught up with the manager, Michael Appleton, to find out who is starting against Exeter City tonight. Michael, an unbeaten September in the league, is that something to build upon ahead of a really, really busy October?
I think it is. I think obviously, we're delighted to get the two wins here at the Valley. 2 hard-fought away draws, which has helped sort of boost morale and confidence. And like you say, going into a month as busy as what we've got ahead of us, hopefully hopefully it'll be the sort of lift that we've needed.
And you talked about the steel your side has shown in spells away from home. Will you be looking for more of that today here at the Valley?
Yeah, I think so, but I think we've shown it last time out against Wycombe. Obviously, Wycombe put us under the cosh a little bit in that first period of the second half a couple of weeks back. So if we do need that, and there's times in the game tonight where we've got to show a bit of steel, hopefully that'll be the case again, and hopefully we can, provide a little bit of quality at the right time, just like we did against Wycombe.
And what kind of test are you expecting Exeter City to pose tonight? It's
interesting actually, because the first sort of 4 games, include Exeter tonight, in terms of the teams and the way they sit up, that's very similar. Obviously all sort of 5 at the back, sort of 3 at the back. Like to get the ball forward early at times. I think tonight they may show a little bit more patience than the previous 3 teams. But listen, they've got 16 points after 10 games. That's no mean feat, and I'm sure way above the expectations is what we would expect of Exeter at the start of the season. So, we have to be mindful of that.
On to team news for today. Any changes to the starting 11?
A couple of changes. Chucks and Teddy come in for TC and Miles. But apart from that, I think we're pretty much... Oh, apologies. Harry, due to the injury he picked up on Saturday as well, unfortunately can't make it.
And you've talked about winning our home games. How important a role are supporters going to play in that? Because we're looking for a hat-trick, 3 in a row tonight.
Yeah, no, listen, they've been fantastic since I walked through the door. I can't ask any more of them, and the players, I think, have responded by them getting behind them at certain times. Even on Saturday, obviously, there was the train strikes, but there was still a hell of a lot of fans turned up and, got behind us in that second half. And I think it always helps when we're certainly away from home and we're attacking second half towards our own fans. And hopefully tonight we can give them something to shout about.
Good luck and thanks for your time. Great to hear from Michael there. So here is confirmation of that Charlton starting 11. Some very important changes made, and I suppose the first one to allude to, and I'm going to ask you about it, Kevin, is the change in goal. Harry Isid had such a fantastic game on Saturday. That injury rules him out. Yeah. How big an impact can that have when you've just got that first clean sheet in a while? Yeah,
I think he would have been looking forward to today's game after the performance he had the other day. I thought he was unbelievable, and I think he was man of the match, I think, by all accounts. So a bit disappointed for him, but I think we've got 2 capable keepers. The only thing about keepers, you probably want to go in through merit rather than your other keeper getting injured. So
it's like the modern way now, isn't it? We're following the likes of Arsenal. Keep our goalkeepers on a rotation.
But I suppose, every manager now, I suppose, wants 2 good keepers. So if one gets injured, the other one can come in and do a suitable job.
Yeah, and on a serious note, Curbs, competition in a squad is really important, and we see things freshened up in attack for us tonight, which isn't something perhaps we've had the ability to be able to do in recent weeks. Chucks and Ike starting a game for us is a big plus.
Well, absolutely, and someone like Dean Holden, if he's watching now, went through a period where he had no strikers, it was all injured. So the interesting thing for me is where he's playing Alfie May, if that's what we're seeing it, because the number 10, whoever it may be, Fraser, whatever, they've got to score a goal and make a goal for me. If you're going to give them the licence to have that role and not be too defensive-minded, then you've got to produce. And I think Alfie May in that position may be a bit of a danger. Yeah. So I'll be interested to see that. And the front 3, it's all quick for me. And so I'm looking forward to seeing how this formation works out.
Kevin, as a former striker who's bagged plenty of goals in a Charlton shirt, give me your thoughts on what you've seen from our attacking Arsenal so far, and what do you make of Alfie May playing in that more central position behind a player like Ike?
Yeah, me and Brownie spoke about it in the last game, and one of the things we spoke about was actually seeing him in that position. I feel like he's gone in that position a few times later on in the games, and he's had effect both games. I think the last 2 games, when we've changed the formations, he's always gone back into that position, and he's looked quite dangerous. He's calm on the ball. He seems like he makes the right decisions. So I like the runs he makes. He times his runs really well from that position. So for me personally, I would like to see him in that position. I prefer him in that position, so it'll be interesting.
Later on, guys, we're going to hear from Lloyd Jones, but I think now it's kind of a nice little run of games between him and Hector starting together. To me, that's always quite an important part of a team selection, isn't it? That centre-back partnership.
Well, Kevin was talking about, obviously, injury to the keeper. And that little triangle of the keeper and the 2 centre-halves, you'd like to keep that as solid as possible and be, consistent with your team selection. And whoever else comes in around the full-back area, whatever, you can cope with it. So but Ashley, when he was in the side, never let anybody down. So as Kevin's saying, the squad is looking stronger. You know, we've got people on the bench that are really disappointed they're not starting, which is what you need. And 1 or 2 injuries coming back, then you know, Michael will have a bit of a selection problem, I think. But that's what you want. You know, you want the players to be not playing under pressure, but knowing they've got to perform to stay in the side. Yeah,
you want those selection headaches, and you want a few players sat up in the stands, a bit upset, wanting to get back in the team. That's exactly how it needs to be if you want to get promotion out of the league. Let's look at the league fixtures tonight, because it is another full slate going on, and we'll take a little look at some of those games. Informed Blackpool host Derby County in a mouth-watering tie, while pre-season favourites Bolton Wanderers take on Steve Evans' Stevenage. Strugglers Cheltenham Town have appointed Darryl Clark as their new head coach, and they host Fleetwood Town, who beat Leyton Orient on Saturday. Oxford United are on fire, and they host our opponents from Saturday, Shrewsbury Town, while Portsmouth, who are also in the top 2, take on Wycombe Wanderers. Kevin, after watching Shrewsbury at the weekend, it'll be interesting to see how they match up against Oxford United, won't it?
Yeah, I've got a feeling I might be wrong. I think Oxford are going to do them quite easily. I think I felt the other day. I thought if we kept the ball a little bit better, we would have exposed them and we would have got at them. But I felt like because of how slowly we started, it allowed them to grow in the game. But watching Oxford this season, I don't think they're going to have any problems on how they start the game and how they finish. So it'll be interesting to see that game. But I believe Oxford will win that one comfortably.
Curbs, a team that have been playing some very good football so far this season has been Portsmouth. Do you see them kind of keeping that momentum and those high standards in place? Yeah,
because I think that, you know, the fans backing, because they do get tremendous backing at Fratton Park. As I said earlier, that is the key. You know, winning your home games, and you know, that's a difficult place to go, especially when them fans get going. So yeah, it looks, looking at the fixtures, it looks like perhaps the bigger sides or the sides that are up the top are going to pick points up tonight. You know, so it's imperative we get 3 points as well.
I think so as well. When you look at how many games we've got this month, to get it off to a really good start will be very important tonight. Talking of good starts, it's been back-to-back wins for the Charlton women's team. They headed down to Prince's Park to take on London City Lionesses, and they won 2-0. Let's take a little look at some of the match highlights. So Curbs, this was a fantastic win that sees Charlton now 5th in what is a really, really competitive championship, just 4 points off of the top. I know you follow the women's game really closely, and I just wondered, what did you make of the start that Karen Hill's side has had?
Well, I think she's done ever so well ever since she's come into the club, and I know with Thomas Sandgaard, etc., that, you know, they got a bit more backing in terms of finance, and it's good to see that the club have carried it on. Yeah, listen, I think that if we can get promotion, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, the Women's Super League now with the crowds, the television money, it's just a whole nother level of exposure. And Kevin, we're going to see a couple of really nicely well-taken goals. One of the best bits of recruitment over the summer was actually not a piece of recruitment at all. It was keeping Mel Johnson in the team. You can see the movement and the goal creation there.
Yeah, I mean, to any key to any success is going to be you're keeping your good players. I think sometimes you want to bring players in, but you've got to ensure that you keep your good ones, because then obviously you bring in players in, you have to bring in more players to fill the gaps of the ones that you've left. So I think keeping your best players is a really good signing for any club.
I absolutely loved this move there. The ball direct to the midfielder, just pivots and makes it look so easy, and it almost deserved to be a goal. Curbs. It's great to see the players with a clear style of play, but also that kind of confidence.
Yeah, and I think that's what Karen's given the side since she's been at the club. I know that they recently played at the Valley, but you know, that's got to come more often.
Yeah.
You know, we're seeing, as you said earlier, about the crowds in the top division, and they've been fantastic. And the women's football's on the up. Yeah. We know that, especially with the TV exposure they're getting. So the quicker we join the big league, the better it's going to be. But you know, I think it's quite right that the women's team should be playing here.
I train a few girls now, a few that play for big clubs, and technically it's so surprising how good they are, and the willingness to learn and to get better and to improve. And as Curb said, now there's obviously money being put into it. It just gives them an incentive to really work for something and to keep going.
And that's the thing that supporters might not be too well aware of. The infrastructure behind the women's team here is so strong, with players coming through through the ranks, and then hopefully with that all-important goal of one day representing their club here at the Valley. And I think we've got Palace coming here soon as well, so that should be a decent one, shouldn't it? That's always a good game, whether it's men's, women's team. But let's move on now, because on the 12th of October, Charlton Athletics Community Trust will be hosting its annual award ceremony at the House of Lords. It's proudly sponsored by ITRM, and it's going to take a look back at another wonderful year of fantastic work across the southeast of London and Kent. Let's get a little taste of what to expect from this video from last year.
Well, all the talk in football is about the money that goes out through the players' entrance to the agents and the players and so on. But when you see a £6 million plus sum being raised to help the community, it's so special.
Yeah, just congratulations, really. I think it's wonderful for them to be shortlisted in the first place, because I was part of the judging panel, luckily enough, and I saw so many wonderful people that were shortlisted and nominated. So yeah, it's just brilliant to be part of it, and well done for everything you've done for the Trust.
Just the exciting value that Charlton have continued to bring to the local community and continue to grow really throughout the Kent County as well. It was probably one of the biggest deciding factors, I think, in why RSK wanted to partner with Charlton, and us being able to kind of help branch that out into more of the environmental mindset as well.
To be recognised for the work that we do. I do just a little bit of the whole of what CAC do, but we invest in young people and the community, and that's what we do. It's natural.
I have to thank everybody involved with Invicta, from the committee that worked tirelessly to all the players, you know, everyone that supports us. It's about everybody, really.
And this is a moment to recognise achievement that's only been made possible by those who support the Trust and the work of the Trust. It's fantastic.
It is fantastic indeed, really heartwarming to see that. And again, our main club sponsors, RSK and the University of Greenwich, are continuing to show their support for the football club by sponsoring two very important awards at next Thursday's event. And you can also support Charlton Athletics Community Trust by becoming a friend of it, setting up a regular donation. And if you'd like to do that, all you need to do is visit cact.gives/donate. Well, we've been talking about what a solid, good September it's been. It's now time to take a look back at some of our nominees for Goal of the Month.
League One season for the visitors, have never played higher. Now great ball from Campbell. Alfie May is in, and there's the equaliser. This is a very tidy finish. Timed his run to perfection. Great ball from Chet Campbell. Alfie May, terrific finish. Perfection. Charlton off the mark. First goal for Charlton.
What a great selection of goals there, and that Corey Blackett-Taylor one, the fact that that was done so late in the game as well, his energy and tenacity to get that ball into the back of the net. Where are your votes going, Kevin?
I like it. Is it the Humphreys? I like the free kick.
The Humphreys one, yeah, that was
like
good,
that.
wasn't it?
And also Dobson, I think it's Dobson. I think those two for me.
Curbs over
Probably
Jordan.
Blackett I'm going for.
Yeah, that last one we saw there.
Because I just want him to do it again and again. Because he's got it, he's got that ability, and I think that will give him a big lift, that goal. Hopefully he can score a few more.
And isn't it encouraging that we're just seeing the quality of the goals coming into the team now from a variety of goal scorers as well?
Yeah, and I think hopefully it can only get better with Chuck's coming back and Miles fit as well. And as I say, that gives us options on the bench during the game. And as Kevin said earlier about Michael making some substitutions and they've worked. And you know, when you've got firepower on the bench, it does give you a lift, you know, and that you can change things. So yeah, I just think that one or two others, if we can get them fit, then we spoke about the squad and how strong it is, and that's what you need.
Kevin, I think that Corey's stats within the division are quite impressive in terms of the number of advances he makes into opposition penalty halves and so on. Beginning to see him turn those into conversions and goals is really important, because not only is it good for him, but it must give an uplift to the rest of the team as well when they see their teammate dancing around defenders like that. Yeah,
I think Curb just mentioned it. He has the ability to do it consistently. It's just whether or not he mentally or physically he believes he can do it. And when he scores that goal there, I think it was that last 4 or 5 minutes of the game. So he's obviously got the stamina and the energy to do it. So I think it's more about belief of him. I think he's got to sometimes just block out the noise in and around him and just concentrate on himself and believe in himself, because he's a good player.
Curbs, can I quote what you said off air about Dobbo? We have to wait a while, but when he scores them, not only do they tend to be really important, but that was quite a strike from him, wasn't it?
It was. And, you know, funny enough, I think that, you know, we see him as a holding midfield player. I think we don't appreciate his passing ability because he's got an array of passing. And as I say, we focus a bit on the defensive side, but I can't remember, I think it was the Orient game where he burst into the box to score. You know, and got in front of Alfie May, didn't he? I think he can do that. You know, I don't really want to label him a defensive midfield player, because I think he's better than that.
No, I think
and hopefully he will give him a little bit more of a licence to get in the box.
Yeah, he's such a leadership figure as well, but sometimes when we need to be on that front foot, he can execute a really direct, fast forward ball, and we're seeing coming into the team now, and he's back in the starting 11 tonight. Louis Watson. Kevin, what kind of addition do you think he will be to the team? Because I know that you and Brownie were really impressed with him.
Yeah, I think he's got a calmness about him. I think the manager said it the other day when he came on, he lost the ball a few times, but he actually made a decent impact on the game as well. And I think that's what you want from players. You want people, he looks quite fearless as well, and you want people who are going to make mistakes, but keep on making mistakes in order to try and do the right thing. And I think he's that sort of, every time I've watched him, he looks like he tries to make the right decisions more than enough. And you don't want someone who's scared to make mistakes, and he looks like he's not.
Brilliant. Well, before we move on, I've got to get you both to look at this fantastic goal. It was scored by one of our schoolboys, Cameron. He netted this wonder goal against Chelsea. Take a look at that technique.
I've never scored from outside the box, so I'm not sure.
Curbs, what do you make of that?
That's first time as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's first time. Did we sign him up already? Is he playing today?
I think that paper will be getting stood in front of mum and dad.
These are expenses.
What can we offer you? Well, returning back to tonight, and another player who's been really impressing in recent weeks is the centre-back, Lloyd Jones. I spoke with Lloyd a little bit earlier on today. Lloyd, thank you for joining me. It's now 4 games unbeaten. What's the mood like in the camp?
Yeah, it's really good. Obviously, we didn't have a great start to the season. I still thought the performances were there, but moments were letting us down, and we seem to have raised them in recent games.
And how pleased were you to get that clean sheet on Saturday afternoon?
Yeah, we need a few more of them if we want to start climbing the table. I think we've got 2 now, so hopefully we can keep another one tonight.
And I think, if I'm right in saying this, you've been in the EFL Team of the Week now for back-to-back weekends. How pleased are you with your personal contributions to the team?
Yeah, I think at the start of the season was tough for me because I was trying to find my fitness within the season. But I feel like I'm, getting fitter and stronger and more confident as the games keep coming.
One thing that can really benefit defences, of course, is a strong centre-back partnership. You've been playing alongside Michael Hector. How have you been finding that? Yeah,
really good. Obviously, he's played at a higher level before. I think we both know what each other are doing, and more games we play with each other, the more the connection will be.
And how have you found working alongside Michael Appleton?
Yeah, really good. I haven't spoke to him like crazy, like loads, but at the same time, he implements his play in training, and I think you're starting to see that out on the pitch.
Yeah, I think we are as well. And what kind of test are you expecting Exeter City to pose tonight?
They've had a really strong start to the season, so they'll probably come here full of confidence. I think they may have lost their last game, but you know, like I said, they've had a really good start, so it'll be another tough.
Kevin, I think it's fair to say Lloyd has probably been Charlton's most consistent defender this season. What have you made of what you've seen from him so far?
Reliable. He looks steady, confident. The last 2 games, as you say, he's been in the team of the week twice now. Not many people, if any, would be in the team twice a week. So I think that says a lot about him. He puts his body on the line. He's an old school defender. He seems like he's reminds me of Brownie a little bit. Like every time there's a shot coming.
Dresses better than Brownie.
And he's slimmer. But yeah, he just seems like he loves defending, which is a real art nowadays. Not many defenders love defending, they want to play out from the back. But he seems like he can do both, and I've been impressed with him the last 3 games I've watched him.
And he's had different partners, isn't he? I mean, Hector, in and out, Ness, in and out, you know, and he's the one that's been constant. And, you know, I think when he came in the summer, as he's saying, he was lacking a bit of fitness, and it's very difficult to get your fitness while you're playing, in match fitness. So, yeah, he's done really well.
And Curbs, you allude to it there, we've been almost searching for that consistent centre-back pairing. Given how solid he has been, do you think he's perhaps one of the first names on the team sheet?
He probably is, but I think, you know, Hector being the experienced one, if you like, and he was chasing his fitness a little bit as well, you know, and as I say, it's difficult, but it's been a little bit unsettled. Lucas Ness was in there and whatever, but now this seems to have, with the good run we're having, it seems to be a bit more consistent.
Kevin, it's something that the manager highlighted in conversations I've had with him after games, is that fitness and sharpness. I think one of his first priorities was really honing in on that conditioning. We've seen some really good displays. We've seen maybe a 45 minutes here, a strong finish to a 20 minutes against Wickham. We need to get that all-encompassing 90, 100-minute plus performance now, don't we?
Yeah, I think the manager spoke about it after the Wickham game, when I think 2 or 3 people came off with cramp. And he said, look, I'm asking them to do things they probably wouldn't normally do. So he seems like he's patient with that. He's got the squad, as Curb said before, he's got the squad at the moment, so he can rotate people. But there is going to come to a point where he's going to want people to perform for 90 minutes and not 60 minutes. So I think at the moment he's trying to figure out who's fit or trying to get them to a certain fitness. But I think when you start getting into Octobers and the Christmas months, everyone's got to be fit. You can't be getting your fitness in that period. You have to be fit and ready to play 90 minutes.
Curbs, it obviously hasn't necessarily been the start to the season we would have liked, a change of management. But traditionally, that 10-game marker is normally a point where you get a sense of what the team is like. Do you think by the end of this 90 minutes, we will perhaps have that marker ourselves?
I think probably the end of this month. You know, as you say, it's a very hectic month, lots of games. So I think when you get into, you know, November going towards Christmas, but, you know, what we got in this month? 5 games, something like that?
Yeah, it's very, very busy.
I mean, 15 points. You know, so if we can come out with 10 or something like that, then we'll be up there looking at that top 6.
And Kevin, we've got a really nice record against Exeter City. We've won our last 5 in a row against them. They've come into this game, they've lost their last 2, they haven't scored a goal. If I'm in that Charlton dressing room right now, I'm seeing this as a really good opportunity, not only to collect 3 points, but perhaps put a bit of a stylish display. Why shouldn't we be confident after an unbeaten September? Take that momentum. Yeah, I definitely, but saying that at the same time, I thought we was going to go to Shrewsbury and dominate Shrewsbury because they've not scored, but apart from our keeper making 4 or 5 really good saves on the day, so the only difference is we're at home. And I think, as I said, we've won our last 2 at home, so I think there's a little momentum going on. Hopefully there's a little bit of, the lads they're used to each other now, and hopefully they're confident in what they're doing. So hopefully, definitely at home, I expect us to beat Exeter, especially they're not doing well at the moment. So it's definitely a game I'm sure the manager will put down as one he feels like we should win. Yeah, and start that tone here at home, which is exactly what we want to be doing week in, week out. Just a reminder for those of you watching at home on YouTube and on Twitter, you can still purchase your live streaming pass for today's game for £10, and you can watch all our multi-angle production. You can also hear commentary from Steve Brown. We're missing him here in the studio, but don't worry, he's still with us. No, I'm missing you, Brownie. It looks very near today, though. You guys all had a really nice dinner together pre-match, didn't you? No,
Kevin, they didn't know who Kevin was. They wouldn't let him in. So
I wasn't allowed to have him.
We're going to get a statue built outside just to hone in the point.
I'm going to build one myself. I'll be out there building one myself.
Me and Brownie's snowed our way into the lounge because John Hayes and Tim Hayes' Axis, they had a couple of spare seats, which delighted Brownie because it was his turn to pay.
There we go.
And he got out of it.
Well, look, we do hope you'll stick around and enjoy this evening's game against Exeter City with us. Let's take a look at the starting 11 once more, because there are 4 changes for the Addicts. Here's a reminder, and here's how the visitors set up as well. Curbs, let me get your sort of final thoughts on this. You've had a couple of weeks away. What are you hoping to see from the boys tonight?
I think the thing is, you know, like Miles come in and he's had a game at the weekend and now he's out, and that's going to be the same for Chucks because they're both not 100% right. But it's good to see Chucks back, and as I say, it gives us something different when he's on the pitch. But I'm interested in Alfie May. I know Kevin said that he saw him at the weekend playing in that position, and he's an honest, reliable player as well. And if it gets a bit tough, he'll do the doggy work, he'll fill in midfield and help out. But obviously he's come here for goals. And I just think that perhaps playing in that behind Chucks might just give him a little bit more freedom. And as Kevin says, he's getting in the box, and perhaps he's got that turn of pace that if anybody is with him, he can lose them. So yeah, I'm looking forward to, as I keep saying, that number 10, I know that Fraser plays there, whoever, for me, they got to produce and, you know, score a goal and make a goal.
Kevin, we haven't spoken too much about Exeter City yet this evening. What do you make of their starting 11, and how do you kind of foresee they will approach today's game?
I watched. I watched them for played Orient. Orient had a game against them, and I watched them for Orient against Orient. I think Orient beat them 2-1 at Exeter, and very expansive team. They get a lot of bodies in the box. They like to attack, which is quite surprising because they've not only scored any goals. But their wingers is really quick. Their left winger seems to be really, really quick. So I think their danger is going to come from their wingers. But yeah, I think, listen, we're at home. We're in a good run. I think it's more about us today than Exeter, and also us being on a good run, them not being on a good run. So I think we have to start the game quickly, maybe get an early goal and hopefully kill the game early.
Well, we are quickly approaching kick-off, and a reminder as well, if you would like me to ask Curbs and Kev any questions, their thoughts, you can contact us via WhatsApp. I will pose those questions to the guys in the studio. But I suppose the overarching one really is just looking at the crowd tonight, and as we've said many times, Curbs, you've made the point, it's the responsibility of the players to set that tone, to give the crowd something to cheer about.
Absolutely, and listen, we've got a bit of momentum going. If we don't get the result tonight, kill it stone dead. So for me, it's vitally important we get the 3 points tonight, for all sorts of reasons, but to keep this bit of momentum going, because we need 4 or 5 results to get us near that top 6.
And Kevin, for a striker like Tedic to come on and score pretty much with his first touch as a substitute, he has his first start tonight. He will be hungry and wanting to build upon that, won't he? Yeah,
I mean, I was there when he scored that goal, and it was a 2-touch finish. It come off his left foot, but all goals count. And I think I watched him come on the other day, and he looks like a clever player. I know he's been at Man City, so I'm sure he understands the runs to make and where to be on the pitch. So I said in the last game, it'll be interesting. I want to see him play more, so it'll be interesting to watch him play today. He looks like a real good player.
And Curbs, I believe this is the first time you're going to have seen Michael